Come to Remora TC to trade like a shark and not get eaten by one. Let's school together to protect and grow our money. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Tuesday, December 2nd. It's hard to believe it's already December. The year has flown by. For tonight's set of tickers, I'm replacing MicroStrategy with Bitcoin, the actual index itself. I'm going to take a little bit of time to review the chart, where the support and resistance lines are, and the overall trend for Bitcoin as well. So let's kick things off with the triple Qs. Reviewing my analysis from last week, I talked about the resistance areas up here in the red, you can see that, as well as possible resistance at this line. My video was on Tuesday last week, so Tuesday is the close of this candle here, which you can see is right at the edge of this resistance. And I said that this could pose resistance and price would likely go further down, or price could be pushed up and encounter resistance up here. Overall, the general direction for triple Qs remains to the downside, so there's no change in my thesis. It's just I'm moving the arrow to the right. Still, overall resistance here, and when price gets back to this 610 zone, this may well pose as support, which is fine. Momentary support, really, until further low prices, okay? So just overall to the downside for triple Qs continues. And part of that is because there's no bullishness down here. The RSI remains on the last momentum move, which is here. And that's based on price moving up, hitting resistance up here, and RSI being divergent down here. Okay. That's triple Qs for you. Take your profits while you can, really. Switching over to GDX, this is the gold play. This is setting up very much like Microsoft was setting up maybe a month ago. And I'll talk about that. What I want to highlight is this top here, okay, at $84, $85 here. I'll just circle it. There's a top here. And then at the same time, you can see that price has come back to retest this top. What I can see happening over the next couple of days, perhaps a week, is that price will get above this top here. So it'll make a newer high, okay? Newer all-time high. And that will cause a pattern called a double top. One top here, one top up here. I'll just kind of momentarily draw it there. Not exactly, I'll just kind of slide it around. Maybe it'll hit up here somewhere, okay? But I'm warning you now that this will be at another top. In fact, I'm going to put a shark here, an early one, okay? So when I draw the shark early, to help you recognize that it's an earlier prediction, I'm going to put it in quotes. So let's put the shark here and put it in quotes. Really poorly drawn double quotes. But that's what you get when you're using. There you go. All right, double quotes. So I'm predicting that price will make a new high here, and it will continue to diverge down here, okay? Now, right now, we can't draw it all the way here. Right now, you can only draw it to, let's see, where did I have it? I had it there, okay? Because of this top here, price going up, momentum going down. I think once it creates a new high here, the divergence will be this long. It will be, in fact, all the way from September till mid-December. Very divergent at that time. Okay, and that would be another sell signal. Okay, so let's re-annotate this a little bit. Slide the gap over just because I often talk about price behaves a certain way when it's around the gaps. The gap start and gap fill. And so, all right, it's a little bit of a cleanup there. But overall, I think price will continue to head downward to the 200-day. 200 days down here. Just kind of slide it over. There you go. And let's slide this guy over as well. All right. So if you're in GDX long, take your profits, buy your kids a new PlayStation, and enjoy your Christmas. Let's switch over to Bitcoin USD. This is the Bitcoin index. I'm going to zoom out and discuss with you the trend lines and some of the support zones and areas that I've seen. Going back, this is the weekly chart. So down here you can see each week is a week. Excuse me, each candle is a week. I'm going to zoom out even more for us to give us a overall picture of how Bitcoin price has been moving. You can see this long-term trend line that I've drawn here. Okay, it goes all the way back to 2011 from this spot here all the way up here. I'm going to zoom in for us as a weekly view and highlight the legitimacy of this purple trend line. Excuse me. You can see on this trend line how at this moment price is beneath and it is resistance. Incredibly, at this spot here, this is what? Almost 20 bucks, okay? I mean, who knew? It's fine. 20 bucks there. There, you can see that price moved up above it, above the trend line, came back down, used it as support. And it's been support again. Price has come back all the way through this January 15, all the way through here, August, September, all support here, okay? And price continues to go up. I mean, it came up all the way up here, 16,000, like it rips, right? If you got an entry anywhere here, good on you. You wouldn't be watching this channel. Now, every time prices come back down, okay, up here, this is in the 60,000 zone, 60,000 zone. You can see bearishness here. And then price started to go down. There was loss of momentum. Price came back down. But then what did it do? It hit the trend line. Okay. I'm going to go to the hit the trend line. And you can't see it here because this is the weekly chart. I'm going to switch to the daily real quick just to show you how momentum changed when I got to the trend line. So let's zoom out here. All right, so here, this whale. So this whale is November 22. November 22, here's a low at 15,000. And then a further low here at 15,700, whereas this one is 15,900, okay? So you can see that price has gone down here. But here's the momentum change. You can see it in the RSI very clearly. Okay, and because it was on the support line, this would have been the long entry. That would have been the signal for the whales to get back in. They told each other, "Hey, let's get back in, boys." So they did. You can see this accumulation phase. They start to get back in, and then it's off to the races. Okay, off to the races. From down here, this was what, 16,000. It goes up to here, okay? And you can see also momentum change. Price is going upward here. You can see that. And RSI down here, downward movement. That was the sell. So they said, hey, get out. They got out, right? They got out at, let's say, 30,000, sold it down to 25 here. Okay, so 30 down to 25. What is that? 20% move. That's a correction. And with that correction, they also told each other, get back in. Hence, I put the whale here. Why? Because the RSI, okay, RSI momentum change going upward while price is going downward, and the second confirmation piece is off the purple trend line. Then it's off to the races, okay? So this purple trend line has a lot of significance. That's the key point. I want to highlight that. Let's keep zooming out. So now where are we? Okay, where are we? We are up here. I want to note for all of you this other purple trend line that is also significant. Okay, let's go to the weekly. All right, so this upper trend line goes from here, which is from March 21, and it hits right up here. It's converging, okay? So this is the whole pizza wedge thing that I often talk about. Here's the key piece for us. For those who are in Bitcoin long, who want to get an entry long, if you're not shorting Bitcoin, if you're not playing MicroStrategy short, and you're just wanting to go long on Bitcoin, this is not the time to go long, because the sharks already started to sell up here. Look, price is going up, okay? RSI down here. I'm going to zoom in a lot for you to see. See the angle of the change. RSI is going down, okay? Loss of momentum against a purple trend line. Sharks taking their profits, they're enjoying it. And look at this. How much profit did they take? Well, from up here, right? They would have told each other, start to get out here. So let's say they get out here, which is not all-time highs. Let's say it's like right here, 122. 122 to where it is now, that's a 25% move. Now, the key thing for retail investors and for those who want to go long Bitcoin or who want to wait out, buy the dip and stuff, well, I do not see any momentum to the upside for you to buy more. There isn't. In fact, once price broke down underneath this super long trend line that we've reviewed about 2 minutes ago, you can see the price broke down underneath, and this is now just a retest from underneath. Price will come back, hit it, retest. It's retesting. It's doing its best to bust back through to gain support again on this really tremendously strong trend line. But because it is now underneath this trend line, it's never been underneath this trend line, okay? The way I've drawn this, it's never been underneath. Okay, this is the weekly chart. Let's see if I can go to the monthly. See, how does that look? So each candle is a month, okay? Each candle is a month. All right. Even on the monthly, okay? Even on the monthly, you don't see it here, all right? You can see all the dancing along the trend line, but now it's finally dipped its nose. It's peeking underneath it. I don't have the right adjectives, but this should be concerning to you, okay? Because it's at resistance. So I'm going to draw the resistance here, make it red, and then put it on the underside. There it is. It's on the underside, okay? This is our resistance. So when will support come? Well, right now it's not. There's no momentum change. This is just momentum and price agreeing with one another, which means the last momentum move, the one that's still playing out, is over here. Okay, so this is not the time to go back in. So where is the possible, spot of support? Well, I'm just going to freehand this. Let's take a look. I would draw this like this. Let's make it a thick black line. Let's make it thick. Give me a second here. Let's say it's like that. And then if I were to draw it, I'd draw it something like this. It's not beautiful because it's a guess. So I'm going to go like this, okay? And the other part of it might be like that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's go to the hourly. Not beautiful, but let's see. All right, well, on the hourly, it looks actually a little cleaner. You can see that. Let me show you why. Because you could see the upper edges and the lower edge here. So maybe I will move this one down just a little bit. It could either be like this or like this. Let's just freehand it. It's kind of like this, okay? All right. And you can see how it's butting its head here, okay? All along there. And that's the freehand drawing of the flag. And you can see it's already broken down beneath the flag. Okay, so there's the flag. So how do you do this? Well, you grab this one, duplicate, and then move it to where it broke. So it broke here. Wow, look at this. All right, my prediction right here. That's my prediction. Right here. My prediction is it's going to come down to 58. Oh, the way I drew that 5 doesn't look so. Oh, I see. It doesn't draw well. So, because it draws it as curves. But my prediction is 50, 8. Okay. All right. That's the downside. It's based on this annotation. It's not going to do it right away. But who knows? Maybe it takes a year. But I called it first. Okay. Let's switch over to Microsoft. All right. Last week I drew this flag on Tuesday. Tuesday is here on this green candle. Okay, on this green candle, I drew a flag early, similar to what I did for the Bitcoin index just now. But the flag is drawn differently because I only had, 2 days of price action. So let's switch over to the hourly, take a look. So if I were to re-annotate this, maybe I do it like this. Okay, maybe I do it like that. All right. It's an art, it's not a science, but there you go. There's the flag. That's based on the hourly. It looks cleaner. But when you go to the daily, it's like this. So duplicate this. Drop it to wherever it breaks. It broke today, but not crazy break. Let's see. Okay. So perhaps, overall, it's just lower prices. The flag isn't beautiful. Maybe if I were to draw the flag up to here, let's see how that works. Because, okay, actually this works a little bit better. And here's why. I can almost see that price came back to hit the lower side of the flag. And I just drew this freehand. You saw it. It's just a freehand draw. If I were to go like this and slide this over just a little bit, make it look cleaner. So it's like that, okay? So price behaving underneath it, price coming up above it. So, all right, let's do that. And then duplicate this. See where it goes, wherever it breaks. All right, so it takes us into what looks like the entry of that gap fill and, interesting, this trend line here. I'm going to zoom in real quick on the daily. All right, see this line here? This one? Let's put it back. I'm going to extend it. Interesting how. Actually, I need to get in a little bit closer so I can see it. Let's go. A little bit. All right, so the start of the trend line is here. On this candle right here, this one, not the one above it, this one. All right, you can see it closes right at it. And even on this day, it was resistance right there. So that's why this trend line's there. resistance here, resistance here. All right, so a little bit of support here. So I'm going to use this doji candle as my reference point to extend this trend line. So doji candle, I'm going to stay just above the doji candle. Like that, okay? Look at this. Look at that, it converges. I'm going to extend this just above the doji candle. All right, like that, okay? So it's not going to happen right away. I'm not saying that by the start of 26 it'll be there, but this gives us the, one way of predicting price action. Sometime in the future, price may get down to this trend line here. Okay, so that's the point. Do I see any bullishness? Is there any bullishness in the future? From an RSI standpoint, I don't see it. So just further low prices for Microsoft. And when I talked about which ticker was it? It was GDX. When I talked about GDX, how there's likely going to be a double top, okay, with the prediction here. Well, Microsoft had that double top, okay, pretty much, and then it sold off, okay? So that is Microsoft, and the last ticker on deck is Northrop Grumman. Northrop Grumman, I talked about back in this August, September, October timeframe, I put all these shark signals here, helping you know that the sharks are getting out of the trade, they're selling. And that when price came back up here, that this would be a bait. They were baiting you to get back in because they are selling. In fact, they sold. And if you were to protect your winnings, protect what the profits you had, and let's say you got out at this second shark here. Let's say you got out here. So let's say you got out here, and where price is now, that's about 9% down. Okay, but some of you would have stayed, and I would have said, "Hey, get out," because they're gonna sell and they're gonna bait you. So let's say on this day I told you get out because of the baiting. You could have saved yourself 10%. Okay, and some of you were up here, right, all-time highs, and you stayed in it, and now you're down 15% from all-time highs. So what's happening next? Well, I will tell you, because I already did. I'll just tell you again. On Tuesday last week, which is this green candle, okay, this one, this green candle, I drew this, said, hey, that's going to be resistance. Watch out for that. And sure enough, look what they did on the next day. They opened the day above this resistance and sold it down. There was no way it was going to stay above that. And since then, boom, more selling. So what's going to happen next? Well, you all are familiar with how I explain chart movement. Do I see any bullish momentum down here in the RSI? Let's zoom in. Let's get in real close. Take a look. Let's see. So this is a low here for price up here. And then this is a further low. So this is way down lower. And what you can see over here is price momentum is behaving in the same way. There's agreement. When there's agreement, there's no change in the prior momentum signal, which was, zoom out, right here. This was the prior momentum signal, which was the sell signal, okay? So there's no buy signal down here. There's no green line that I'm drawing. So what's going to happen the next couple of days is normal dip buyer behavior. The dip buyers will buy back in, push price back up, which is fine. That's normal behavior. You'll see price go back up before a resumption of selling. Now, the way this flag is being drawn, I drew it to show that likely price is going to come down here in this to close out the gap down here. okay, at around 517. So that's another, let's see, from where we are today, down to there. All right, that's another 5% move down, okay? And then we'll revisit. And it's not going to happen right away. We're just going to have to see when the bullish signal comes back in before the whales decide to get back in and tell one another, hey, all right, guys, Christmas and New Year's is over. Let's get back in before, so then they can, get positioned correctly, okay? So those are the tickers for this week. I swapped out MicroStrategy for the Bitcoin index. I hope you could find some value in this video. And it is December. I think volume will be kind of light this month with everybody focused on spending time with their families. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. Send it to your friends and family. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you want me to review. This Bitcoin ticker that I reviewed today was per a request. And you can see here, I'm going to put it back up here. I predict much lower prices in the future for Bitcoin, down to 58. Incredible. So let's see. Let's see if the behavior warrants a correct prediction. We will have to see, though, is if there's any bullishness. If there's any bullishness, it may take much more time to get to 58, or it may totally negate it. But right now, I don't see any bullishness. All right. As always, good luck with your trades, and I will see you next time.